Dame update from the Jersey Shore. Kind of rhymes. Hey, I'm glad you joined us. My name's Scott Mencken. You can see the set's growing. Thanks a lot for the Notre Dame stuff you're sending in to me. I appreciate it. I'll always display it very proudly. I got a light this week. I got a new sponsor. We'll talk about the watch later. And Sterling. Out of Brooklyn, but a foreign watchmaker with some really cool watches. Hey, I'm your host, and I'll always be your host. As long as my house holds up. Couple things. If you haven't had a chance, flashback, Jersey Shore update, Notre Dame football. Look at our preview. Our prognostications for the first 3 games were pretty damn good. Nearly nailed the Temple game. Didn't do too bad with that Georgia call, though it hurt to make that call. And right now, looking at last week's game, we weren't far off. At one point, it was 35-14. Jersey Shore had us 34-13. Game ended up different. Couple things. Brandon running for a guy from Jersey City, New Jersey, running for 207 yards last week, setting a Notre Dame update record. Okay? Jersey strong. We like it. Couple updates on some of the stats. I'll give them to you later. But before we get to that, I want to talk about this. The first half last week, a lot of us wanted to jump off a bridge. And we got to give Brian a little bit of time. It's a team that's evolving. You don't go from 4-8 to being totally great. There's some evolving in that. A friend of mine used to say it's from revolution to evolution. Here's what we saw. After halftime, they made some adjustments because I wasn't happy either. And we've got some Bullhorn Players of the Week from last week. Here it is. Let's go. You know, you send me great things and all the... How about a couple of D batteries? Here we go. Sean Crawford. Great game. Bullhorn Player of the Week. All that running, I'm going to give Bullhorn Player of the Week to the offensive line. There's a kid from Jersey on that offensive line, Quentin Nelson, that we particularly root for. Continued growth by a swarming defense. We saw it more in the second half than the first half, but what I'm not seeing at all is what's happening on special teams. When I read you the stats, it's going to blow your mind. This game this week, Michigan State, Fox. I have Fox and ESPN written down, 8 p.m. It's going to be on TV at 8 o'clock at night. You'll find it. But I'll tell you what, I prefer the NBC thing. There was a petition to replace Doug Flutie. Come on. Come on. We had Pat Hayden. Now we have Doug Flutie. There's always going to be an NBC Irish hater. Okay? We're not going to be able to have Tony Rice broadcasting the game. You got to put up with it. As long as they love football, I'll leave them on. Michigan State last year, 3-9. Not a typo. Read it. 3-9. But they're 2-0 this year. 2-0 against Bowling Green, 35-10. Western Michigan. They couldn't even play the whole state. So think about this. You're Michigan State. Your rival is Michigan. You're playing Western Michigan? Ah! Does Notre Dame play part of Indiana? Come on! Last year, Notre Dame beat a 3-9 team, 36-28. It was early in the year, the way these games always are, and that Notre Dame team went on a crash landing there afterwards. Next week, Michigan State plays Iowa. I'm going to move this. It's getting in my way. By the way, Todd Light. They play Iowa. And if you listen to my opening preview for the year, I predicted one major prediction. I was wrong last week with the Tampa prediction on the quirky one. We'll get to that. But Michigan State will run trick plays. We'll run a double reverse. Something, the Hail Mary, the double reverse. What's the other one? It'll come to me. Their quarterback, Brian Lewicki, 65%. Compare that to Brandon's 51%. There's a gap. Brandon, I'm all good. Jersey City. 8.8 yards per rush with this quarterback. So Brandon's not the only running quarterback. We need to be conscious of this. I can't read the rest of the stuff here. I don't understand my handwriting. Darnell Stewart, wide receiver. Felton Davis, wide receiver. L.J. Scott out of the backfield. This is a classic thing where Notre Dame's up 10-0, 10-3. And all of a sudden, L.J. Scott's going to go for 68 yards on a screen pass. If that happens, Brian, I'm giving you heads up now. Some stats. Josh out of the backfield, 454 yards to date. Brandon Wimbush, 359. 359. 6 TDs for Wimbush, 147 yards per game passing, 104 yards running. No, take that back. Don't want to give you bad information. 147 yards per game is the Joshua stat. 104 Brandon. I'm not going to do a retake. I'm in this deep. Speaking of which, letters from California. I got a letter from a guy named Mike and a guy named Jeff. They're huge USC fans, and they said they're converting. And they actually believe that the Irish are going to crush Sam Darnell when we play. And I appreciate that feedback from California. Go have yourself an In-N-Out burger. Elizai Mack, 9 catches. He's our leading receiver. I love you. I love the self-discipline, sitting out the year. I love your talent. I love your size, but you're our leading catcher. While EQ has 7 and Kevin has none. Kevin, I'm putting out an all-points bulletin for you. What the heck happened? Fink needs to be in this number. Tony Jones needs to be in this number. Smythe, come on. Our punts, here's a number. Get out your abacus. Yo, you can't use an abacus because you got to get into the points on this one. .02 is our punt yards return average, to be redundant. I could fall down from here over this table and average more than .02. Let's not turn our special teams into algebra. Our kickoff return, CJ! And we're not playing the scrubs. We're not playing the kids off the practice team. The walk-ons, 22 yards. Come on. Drew Tranquil having a great year. Sean Crawford showing a lot of guts. Irish, big, over Michigan State this week. And you could tell I'm a little pensive. 34-16. Big Irish win. We'll see you next week. I've got a lot to do. Oh, by the way, Irish sunglasses. If you need them, they're on sale. See me. We've got some other great Irish stuff. Let me walk around here. Watch this one. I'm going to leave you with this. You want to be the king at the barbecue or the summer outing or the fall outing? Notre Dame Docksiders. We'll see you next week.